Good morning. This is Susan Hintz-Epstein, also known as Susan of the North, when I do my psychic fairs. And I wanted to provide you with the rune reading for the week of December 8th through the 14th. So this is like a weekly overview on the rune of the day, which I started. And sometimes I like to do the weekly overview better because it gives you and myself and you a feeling of how we move smoothly from day into day. And as you may have observed from your own life, each day carries a certain mood with it. And that mood can affect us for good or bad. How do we meet our emotional reaction to the day ahead of us? And I have discovered that by doing a rune draw in the morning, that I can anticipate what might come up in the day ahead so I can better prepare myself to meet that. So, this is just a little explanation of why I do this or a practice in doing this. I mean, the runes are far more evolved and involved than that, but this is a good daily practice for those of us who are working on maintaining a positive inner life as well as a positive outer life. So, just to illustrate, last Wednesday I had drawn Tiwaj reversed, and my interpretation was that that could mean a person acting out of integrity with themselves, or it could mean a wounded warrior in some way. Um, you know, you meet these guys coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq, and they have their they have their deeply felt hurts. But what it turned out to be for me, for example, was the day was just um, a day of meeting my triggers. So, because I had forewarning of this, I could meet my triggers and my negative emotions could have been stirred in any number of ways. But because I had forewarning of this, I was able to be this person in the day instead of this one. That's just one example. The day afterwards, um, the reading was for Wunyo reversed, which when Wunyo is normal, it's joy. When it's reversed, it's opposite, suffering, joy and suffering. We don't know the middle ground between joy and suffering unless we know the extremes, right? Well, that particular day for me was one of having to acknowledge um, things that I could sacrifice or give up in order to maintain a better financial balance in my life. And it was also a day where I was aware that other people were suffering. And because I am or consider myself to be a prayer warrior, I was able to pray for those who crossed my path that day. And so that felt good. So it's not just about living for ourselves, but it's about living for others and finding that balance between healthy self care and healthy caring of our human collective. And I deliberately use the term human collective because we are living in an era that is so divided that when we can rise above the negativity of divisiveness and find the bridges that connect us, we are all better off. So that was just a take I wanted to give you on last week and on one of the reasons why I do these Rune of the Day podcasts. So to begin with, tomorrow is Sunday, the 8th of December, and I have drawn the rune for flow. Flow, like water, seeks its own ground. And this can be a reminder to us to be present to our own being. And I use the word being very deliberately. It's not one our society likes because we're always active, doing, fix it, do something. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just to be aware of your own process in the flow of life. Sometimes that means sitting down, sitting still, finding your inner silence and seeing where that leads you. Sometimes it just means a more um, I'll use the word active passivity. You can be active in your life with attention for your life, but going along with the flow of life. And that sometimes is a very happy and contented thing to do. So I just wanted to draw your attention to that today, to be present to your own flow. Don't reach beyond what you're capable of attaining. Just be present to what is. Take care of the needs of the day. Sometimes that's all that is asked of us. This is the reading for Sunday, December 8th. On Monday, we draw the rune from movement. This is Awaj. And you notice how the flow, the rune for the flow, is a mirror image in the rune Awaj. This is a rune of when they originated. This was the partnership between horse and rider, the kinship between horse and rider. When you're on a horse and your bodies are fused as one, and you are just signaling that horse with your legs, your seat, your hands, your shifts of weight. There's a oneness between you, especially if you have been working together a long time and you're both well accustomed to each other. And it's a beautiful thing to have that merging of oneself with another self. This rune can also, I extend it to mean a partnership, emotional exchange between beings, whether it's yourself and your dog or your cat or your family. It's the friendship, it's the relationship, it's the closeness of all these things. And when you are in harmony together, it's a beautiful thing. This is the rune for Monday, December 9th. On Tuesday, the world turns a little more wicked. For some people watching this rune is ear. This rune is interpreted as the gallows. This rune is interpreted as something that is dying. Some of us have lost people we love. Some of us are losing people we love. But it also can mean an inner state, something about your life or your way of life that no longer serves you, that we have to die to in order to find a new beginning. This is the rune for Tuesday, year. On Wednesday, we see the rune Thurisaj reversed. Thurisaj is the rune of protection, guardianship. It's the thorn. It can be the thorn that pricks you or the thorn that protects you. In my experience, in my life experience, when I get this reversed, it often means that I am going into a repressed emotion that is seeking to be released. It's not always easy to face, but I know that if I allow the process of feeling my feelings, that it will surface, it will pass. I will get through this. So this may be coming up for you today. Or if it's a different situation for you, it could be that you are dealing with a situation or people that are pricking you and you need to find your boundaries. You need to find your boundaries and decide what you will allow in and what you won't allow in. I received a beautiful instruction from a friend of mine. And I'm going to share this with you now. Here is how you can set a boundary in your light body so that nothing gets past you in a given day. Put your right hand over your heart, and your left hand is, most people, energy flows from right to left. So the left hand is incoming. Just going to stand up a bit more, back up so you can see what I'm doing. The hand is on the heart. This is receiving energy, and your feet are on the ground, grounded. If you can be barefoot, that's good too. If you can be on the earth, that's even better. But just think about a boundary that protects your innermost being from the emotional debris of the outside world. And you could just breathe this in. I just do this and I'm open, always open to what the guides and the spirit guides have to teach me. And it's just interesting how much I've learned from just doing this simple boundary exercise in the morning or before I go out the door for the workday. or even throughout the day as I feel the need for it. Just breathe in and out. Let yourself breathe in and out. And you get a sense of your own presence. You get a sense of your own being. And then you can make a suggestion to your subconscious mind, which is always open and listening to you, that I want to set a boundary this day, that nothing negative penetrate to my light body, nothing negative. Or you can say something like, only love and light live here. Or you can just say, I need a boundary for today, and then let your subconscious teach you what that might be. I have had runes appear to my third eye. I have had different crystals appear to my third eye. I have used green tourmaline and rose quartz and the rune Rido, which is the journey. Sometimes it's just that my aura is infused with white light. Whatever it is that you need for this day, and you could maybe just phrase it this way: I want to receive for my boundary whatever it is I need for this day. And you give that a few minutes to penetrate. And when you start feeling really good, you know that it's done. So that is for Tuesday with Thurisage reversed. On Thursday, we have drawn the rune Awash. This is the rune of the rising and falling on the tree of life. On any given tree, it is the trunk that has the connecting columns that nurture, that carry water and food particles up and down the tree from the root to the crown. In the human being, this is analogous to our spine. And we are walking upright on the earth, like a tree stands upright on the earth, because we humans have the evolutionary capacity to feed the earth through what we receive through our crown chakra and what we release through our root chakra. And it's really a beautiful thing. Remember that moods, and I began talking about moods earlier, have the capacity to rise and fall and to be released and all kinds of things. But whether you're down or you're up right now, this is a reminder that life is seasonal. We pass through seasons of joy, we pass through seasons of grief, we go through times of dying away, and we're coming into the winter solstice, which is a time of dying away. And then we will enter again into the spring, which is a time of growth and renewal. So life repurposes itself. Nothing is ever so final until our final end. Our bodies will die, but our spirits are eternal. Nothing is ever so final that we can't rise up again. And I have lived through some serious depressions in my life, and there have been always a period of renewal and rising up again. And most of those have been in response to things going on outside of myself. And when I've learned to provide my boundaries and hold my inner light sacrosanct, life has become much more tenable, bearable, enjoyable. So I share that here today. For Friday, the 13th. Oh, did I just say that? Friday the 13th. Well, I've never experienced that much bad luck on a Friday the 13th, so I like that day. We have drawn the rune Nauthiz, and the rune Nauthiz is reversed. So I usually interpret this to mean, okay, Nauthiz is a rune of constraints and limitations. When it's reversed, in my experience, constraints and limitations are never quite so bad as they could be when your back is to the wall. Your back may not be to the wall, but you have to look at the process of actions and consequences of actions to make choices. if you don't want your back to be against the wall. So for me, I'm in a period of a little bit of financial constraint, and I'm not complaining about that. This is my life experience and I'm learning from it. But I have to make choices. If I am going to spend money, what is really important, or if I'm going to save money against future need. So there is that. Other people may have health choices to make. Other people may have, choices to make in terms of um, energy expansion. We were talking about how there's a need to put up a boundary in yourself from people who would use you, and you don't need that. This is kind of a calling um, as we are passing closer into um, the breakdown of the old world order. And I don't really like that terminology, but I don't have anything better to use. Because I don't like the new world order that people are projecting either. You know, we are breaking down, consciously breaking down the old paradigms. And in America, for example, we are looking at how the few wealthy have manipulated the masses to doing their work and enjoying their wealth. And now we are to take a stand for our own lives and our own selves. Where do we want to put our energy for our life? We have this beautiful life, but it's finite. We are born and we will die. For some of us, family is our priority. And I know some beautiful families, loving families who hold together through everything. And I admire that. And other people still, creative types like myself, where do you want to put your good energy? Do you want to put it towards, do you want to throw your time away in service to something that doesn't serve you, except maybe it pays for your life, in which that case it has value. But I think it's worth looking at how you spend your time and whether spending your time in this way is profitable for your life purpose. You know, I'm just going to put it this way bluntly. If you look at certain issues in your life today from the perspective of your deathbed, what would you wish you had done differently? And you can make that choice to change that now. Let me say that again because I think it's important. If you were to look at the perspective of your life now, from the perspective of your deathbed, what would you wish you had done differently? And you have the power of your own will and choice to make that decision now so that you can live the rest of your life with more productivity, more joy, more sense of fulfillment, more sense of connection, perhaps even a deeper sense of relationships, whether it's with yourself and the divine or yourself and your loved ones or the natural world. All of it is important. And finally, for Saturday, the 14th of December, I have drawn the rune year. Some of these, I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct because I have not been around people who speak them. So I just have to read it and think maybe I'm getting it right, maybe I'm getting it wrong. But the spelling is YR. And in the Norse, the Y was kind of like a Yar. So I'm just going to go Yar. This is a rune that evolved in the Anglo-Saxon Futhark. It's a combination of the U shape is which is strength, the wild ox, and the middle shape is like rain, or as they were learning to produce metal and ores at this time, the slag from the fallout of the pollution. So this is a rune that has come to mean, in its upright form, archer, taking aim at a target, an artist taking aim at a creation. It's reversed. So the ultimate theme of focus becomes unfocus. It could mean distractions, or it could mean that you need to take a time where you're not focused and crazy on things, to just let your mind wander and see what comes along. What is the fallout of your mental process? I'm a journalist, and when I say that, I'm not a news person. No, I'm a person who keeps a journal. I journal every day, and it helps me to stay in tune with my thought processes, my feelings, my physical needs, and find the imbalances so that I can take rectification on this daily. Our body is the home of our energy, our spirit, and it's really about bringing this back into balance. And it can be so important just to take a day to be unfocused, to let your mind wander, to wander through the day, to wonder throughout the day. I have a friend, and her name is Gloria, and she often, when she's writing to me and she's talking about wandering, she uses the word wonder. So she's going for a walk, she's going for a wandering. And I love that. It's the walking itself is conducive to allowing the sights and the sounds of your presence alert you to what wonders are there to be seen. So I want to leave you with that positivity on this Saturday, the 14th of December. And then I wanted to bring in an announcement. I am going to have to do an emailing on this because I don't have all the video capacity yet or knowledge to put all the bells and whistles in a picture in front of you. But Renee Baribeau, she is the practical shaman, and she has a book out called Winds of Spirit. Let me see if I can find it. This is her book, Winds of Spirit. I've been working with Renee off and on um, as I can since late 2017, I think. But she has now put out an oracle deck. And of course, my desk is too messy to find a copy of that. But they are among the most beautiful of the oracles decks that I own. I just got my first copy of them last week. So, anyway, to make a long story short, Renee puts out an I Am Wind Symposium, fire tending, every year about this time. And this year it will run from December 20th through, I believe, the 22nd. And because she is promoting her own oracle deck, she has invited 30 some people to participate in her I Am Symposium Solstice gathering. And I have been invited to do that. And if you're interested in a talk on the runes, my topic is Runes as Guides for Daily Life. I will be speaking at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, the 22nd. So I will be putting out um, connections to this in my email, and I will put them also in the comments on this podcast when I get it up, so that you will have the email connection to go to find this information. Now, I have been a fire tender at these symposiums. I think last year was the only year I didn't do it because I had too much work in my daily life. But I will be doing it again this year. And if you want to participate in being a fire tender, you can go to Facebook and you can go to the group Wind Clan, And there she has a link where you can sign up for it. And it's really beautiful experience of releasing the previous year, of the tensions that we gather throughout the year, throughout the days, and holding fire itself is a sacred effort because the group of us around the world, she has followers from Europe and Australia and just all over the world now. Um, you feel like you're part of a collective group in healing the planet and healing the dysfunction that the human collective is suffering from on the planet at this time. So I cannot recommend it highly enough. Again, I will be speaking during her I Am Symposium on December 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would invite you to attend that. And I will put the links to these efforts in the comments here, and I will get that out in an email later this week. So if you want to sign up for my email, go to my website is runeclasses.com, RUNECLASSES.com. And there is a link on the bottom for a subscription to my newsletter. And then I will get your email and I will put you on my email list and we will take care of getting that information out to you as well. Thank you for being with me today in this Rune of the Day weekly overview journey. And I look forward to making this rune journey with many more of you at the fire tending ceremony. Rune blessings. I'm Susan Hintz-Epstein, aka Susan of the North.